It's smoking pretty well.
But there's a factory on fire over there.
That could be ammonia. And if it's ammonia, should we get out of it?
He's got a bomb on his plane. It could still explode.
The devastating war has now spread to Russia. The entire country is now literally erupting.
War. We're screwed. That's it. I'm leaving tomorrow.
Russia is being torn apart. A massive air defense breakthrough, explosions all over the Federation. Moscow, St. Petersburg, Tatarstan, everything is on fire. Mobile connection is gone. Panic among Russians. Extremely powerful strikes. Putin's key factories have been destroyed. You won't believe how far the drones managed to reach. All this and more coming up. Watch until the end. Hello, this is Ukraine Today. I'm Darina Hatskalo, and here are the latest events. It's a complete disaster in Russia. Drones struck the Kotovsky gunpowder plant near Tambov. The first videos have appeared.
The ammunition depot is on fire. Ammunition is exploding. You see, they're just going off in flashes.
The Kremlin is beside itself with rage. The fire is of gigantic proportions. The plant's operations have come to a halt.
Stop. Holy shit! That's it, the whole place was just red over there.
Putin is in tears. The plant produces goods for small arms, grenade launchers, artillery systems, and other weapons for the Russian armed forces. It is considered one of the largest enterprises in Russia where ammunition and gunpowder are produced.
You can see it right from here. Oh. The sirens are... Oh, damn. It's really intense right now.
Maybe it didn't hit the house. That one, over there.
Shock. Russia is engulfed in fire and panic. Unknown drones attacked 11 regions at once.
Oh.
Sit on my face.
This is not just an attack, it's a real nightmare for the Kremlin. Ghost drones covered a vast area from Tatarstan to the Moscow region, striking important Russian targets again and again. An apocalypse in the Leningrad region. The connection is cut off. The internet has disappeared.
The second one is down. Toward Demian. Somewhere really close. Can't see anything.
There is real chaos in Tatarstan. Explosions were heard in Nizhnekamsk and Yelabuga, precisely where, according to rumors, the factory producing those very shahids is located. Eyewitnesses report that the drones were flying directly toward the industrial giants. Access to the industrial zone is completely closed, and communication has disappeared due to the operation of powerful jammers. The Russian Ministry of Defense is beating the drums, claiming that they intercepted and destroyed 102 drones overnight. But can this number really be trusted when Bryansk, Belgorod, Voronezh, Kaluga, Kursk, Oryol, Leningrad, and Smolensk regions, as well as the temporarily occupied Crimea, were all under attack? Chaos in the skies. Overnight, Rosaviatia imposed total restrictions at all airports in the Moscow aviation hub, as well as in Saratov, Samara, Kazan, Kaluga, Nizhnekamsk, Izhevsk, Kirov, and St. Petersburg's Pulkovo airport. Half of Russia's airports were completely paralyzed. Local residents have already published videos of attempts to shoot down UAVs.
Man, last night at 1 in the morning, the Russians struck Cheboksary and all over the world.
Announcer female. Russia is in shock. Another massive drone attack, one after another. Cheboksary in Chubassia is all in ruins. Accurate, loud, unexpected.
Woman, there's a bomb on his plane. There was an explosion. Woohoo!
Man, let's get out of here. Out of here.
Out of here! Man, the whole house is shaking. Woman. Huh?
Announcer female. The city is shaking from the explosions. Putin's defense plan took the hit.
Woman. Why are we woman? You can't see anything over there. Oh god, it's just a drone, just a drone. It's gonna fall again now. In the same place. Oh. Well, I suspect we should probably go to the bomb shelter for a bit.
Announcer female. You can't miss these epic shots. It was spectacular.
So, I woke up, I don't remember what time it was, it's 3 in the morning now, from a bang, an explosion. This is the world of Tatarstan. You can see the sun all over that sea.
Announcer female. On social media, people are shouting that the drones hit their target exactly and set it on fire literally.
Unbelievable.
Announcer female. According to the Russians, the fiery party was thrown by Ukrainian drones called Lyuchi. They claim each one was carrying 5 kilograms of plastic explosives.
Man, I can see it.
Announcer female. But here's the catch. The strike was so devastating that the enterprise had to be shut down. Governor Oleg Nikolaev, gritting his teeth, stated that they had no choice but to take such a step.
Oleg Nikolaev. 2 UAVs fell on the territory of the joint stock company VNDIA, which is why a responsible decision was made to temporarily suspend production to ensure the safety of the employees.
By the way, the plant in Cheboksary works directly with the Russian Ministry of Defense. It is the largest Russian developer and manufacturer of relay protection systems, automation, and electrical equipment. But what is left of it now? Narrator. The enterprise supplied critically important electronics for the S-300, S-400 and S-500 air defense systems, Iskander and Caliber missiles, T-90M and Armator tanks, as well as ships and submarines. Obviously, now Putin has lost all these capabilities. The Ukrainian side reported a phenomenal success. A defense industry facility was hit, where antennas for Shaheds were manufactured.
Man. What is this? What is this?
Narrator. And that's not all. Voronezh region forgot what sleep is. Explosions, explosions, and more explosions. The locals lost count.
Man. Explosions all around me. I can see and hear the thunderous blasts echoing, shaking the ground beneath my feet.
The bright flashes of light and the deafening sounds fill the sky, making it impossible to ignore the sheer power and intensity of these explosions.
I can feel the shockwaves reverberating, a constant reminder of the chaos unfolding right before my eyes.
Narrator. The banks also kept Russians in the Nizhny Novgorod region from sleeping. Social media posts said that the first explosions were heard at 2:30 in the morning, and flashes were visible in the sky.
Man, it took off.
Man, do you hear that? Do you hear it? Do you hear it? How you aim the drone?
Narrator. A sleepless night and surprises from the sky, as if on cue.
Man.
Narrator. At this time, the Russians didn't forget to film everything on camera and, of course, were genuinely surprised about where the drones were flying.
If not, what? Did you leave it at home?
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
I just stepped outside, I thought.
This about somewhere over there, either on that side or there. I've never in my life
The Ukrainian General Staff has revealed the details. Drones have turned the Savazleyka airfield to ashes.
Let's go back, man, seriously.
From this military facility, in particular, MiG-31K fighter jets regularly take off, which are carriers of Kinjal aeroballistic missiles. According to preliminary information, 2 enemy aircraft units were hit, likely MiG-31 and Su-34 planes.
The drones also sent fiery greetings to the Kazan gunpowder plant. The column of smoke from the fire can be seen for dozens of kilometers, a fire of unprecedented scale.
That's some serious smoke.
To use the Russians' own words, there's simply no point in trying to put it out.
No, here it's probably completely useless to even try extinguishing it from the side. With a helicopter, if anything. With a helicopter, Radic left. Evacuation has started. That's paint burning. There's paint there. It's definitely the paint shop, as far as I understand. And it was only just launched recently.
Locals claim that in Kazan it's supposedly the paint and varnish workshop of one of the factories that's on fire. They say there was a problem with a solvent tank there.
And the mountains are burning. It's paint and varnish.
However, the footage speaks for itself. Another important defense plant of Putin's completely destroyed. The Ukrainian armed forces did an excellent job. A real market indeed. They say it's just a massacre.
Oh my gosh! I can't believe it! Unbelievable.
The drones put on a real fire show for the Russians from the Tambov region. Explosions tore through the sky. The Russians keep complaining, saying it's war.
The elephant is flying right over the hospital.
Meanwhile, the Russian Ministry of Defense continues to pretend that everything is under control and reported on the successful work of their air defense.
49 Ukrainian fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles were destroyed and intercepted.
However, here's the problem: they failed to hide the fact that control over the situation has been lost. The cover plan was deployed in Kazan, Nizhny Novgorod, Saratov and Tambov. Airports are blocked and the sky is filled with drones. At least 5 loud explosions were heard in the city of Novomoskovsk, located in the Tula region. Local telegram channels report that one of the drones hit the Azot chemical plant. The Russians are not hiding their delight.
The plant is on fire over there.
It could be ammonia. If it's ammonia, go.
Yeah. The plant is definitely burning.
The Novomoskovsk joint stock company Azot is the largest domestic producer of ammonia and nitrogen fertilizers, and also one of the industry leaders in terms of types and volume of products manufactured.
Basically, right into the pipe, directly into the propane gas line. IDAM. Holy shit. Yeah.
But now, all of that is in the past. There simply won't be anything to fill artillery shells with. The Russians are truly gripped by panic. Ukrainian drones have struck the plant before, and each time with precision. The facility had barely recovered from the previous strike.
At that time, drones hit the facility, causing a low-pressure natural gas pipeline to catch fire in workshop number 4. 2 tanks with a capacity of 750 tons of nitric acid were also damaged. On the day of the attack, the plant completely ceased its operations.
Drones targeted Moscow from 3 different directions at once. Z channels are shrieking. The capital was definitely not prepared for such an ambush. The air defense worked with all its might.
Vladislav Holubev, the Ukrainian armed forces attempted to carry out a combined drone attack using Bobra R-15 and Luty UAVs on Moscow.
Yulia Yarmolenko. Meanwhile, in Russia's Engels Saratov region, an oil depot has been burning for almost a week now after a visit from Ukrainian drone operators. Yulia Yarmolenko. Right after the strike on the Russian Krystal, things were just as explosive and intense. You can't miss the footage from the locals.
Sergei, the Pantsir air defense system, it did not operate or perform in the way that it was supposed to. Brutal.
Yulia Yarmolenko. In Russia's Kstovo, a bitumen production plant is on fire. Smoke has engulfed everything around.
Sergei, the drone just now, right here, Kstovo, Lukoil. Damn, just so you know.
Yulia Yarmolenko. While explosions in Russia no longer surprise anyone, it's truly interesting to watch the reactions of the Russians themselves. Listen to how enthusiastically they talk about the fire.
I'm literally right next to it. I'm literally right here. Is this some kind of factory or what? It's not clear. I could, of course, go onto the premises, but I'm afraid there are a lot of cops there. The guys over there are really going at it.
Yulia Yarmolenko. On social media, they're saying it's a bitumen plant located next to the Lukoil oil company. It's one of the 10 largest oil refineries in Russia and supplies the Putin army. And yet another colossal failure for the Russians. After devastating special operations by the SBU, Ukrainian drones have become a real nightmare for Russia. The Kremlin isn't laughing anymore. They've rushed to save what's left. But will that help them? Will they be able to hide from Ukrainian vengeance? Watch right now, immediately.
Anna Prokofieva, Russia is catching up to the USA. For now, the aggressor country is not advancing. Strange as it may sound, it is actually hiding from Ukraine. Anna Prokofieva, the Russians decided to hole up in a corner after the successful web operation carried out by Ukrainian special services on Russian territory. After that, according to monitoring channels, Russia decided to disperse its Tu-160 aircraft from the Engels air base. It is already known that the Russians chose to hide the planes in the Far East, almost 7,000 kilometers from the border with Ukraine. But let's note, it's less than 1,000 kilometers from America.
Viktor Schenker, the redeployment of a strategic bomber to the Anadyr airfield and the distance to the United States is 660 kilometers. I do not rule out as a possibility of military political pressure, including on the United States, after a successful operation by the Ukrainian side in destroying the strategic aviation aircraft of the Russian aerospace forces.
Anna Prokofieva. The Russians didn't have time to hide their aircraft before the first one was already found at Anadyr airfield, which is a federal-level general-purpose airfield in the capital of the Chukotka Autonomous Okrug. The search for the remaining aircraft is still ongoing.
Viktor Schenker, it should be noted that there are only 6 airfields across the entire Russian Federation capable of accommodating strategic bombers, so their number is limited. And that is why the Russian Federation fully understands that, for example, the possibility of using the Engels airfield has essentially been reduced to zero.
Anna Prokofieva, let us remind you, Engels is located in the Saratov region. The distance from the line of combat engagement is 700 kilometers. And by the way, on the day we were preparing our material, the defense forces of Ukraine once again struck the oil refinery in Engels, which supplies materials to the airfields where strategic bombers are based. Another airfield that is actively being attacked by Ukrainian forces is located in the Ryazan region. This is the Diaghilevo airfield, which is located 500 kilometers from the border with Ukraine.
Viktor Schenker, that is why the Russian Federation is carrying out such relocations of aerospace forces aircraft. This applies accordingly to Polenya airfield as well, and after the strikes on the Belaya airfield in the Irkutsk region, the number of aircraft there has decreased significantly.
Anna Prokofieva. So the Russian Federation does not rule out repeated attacks on its air bases and is playing chess with its bombers, hoping they won't be found.
Viktor Schenker, from Moscow all the way to the very outskirts, the entire territory of the Russian Federation is within the operational interest of the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, as well as other components of Ukraine's defense forces.
Anna Prokofieva. We have already seen that the Kremlin dictator and his team are indeed afraid. The intriguing question remains, how will Putin, who claims to be fighting America and Ukraine and is now both diplomatically and militarily cozying up to that same America, use it in the event of further successful attacks by the Ukrainian armed forces? Will he flee and ask Trump for asylum, or will he set out with his army to conquer new territories?
Yulia Yarmolenko. That's all from me. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next strike against the occupiers, and give a like to make the voices of the drone operators and the nightmares of the Russians even louder. See you next time. It's going to be intense.